Hey guys, it's been a very long time since I've done one of these. Almost 6 months, June 20th when I did my last one, as I am back to an NFL theory. So of course, when I last left off, I was doing 2 theories on Brett Favre. The last one of course was what if he stayed with the Packers. The next one I was going to do, I unfortunately had to postpone it because I had to redo the entire theory, and I've been working on the slides since, now that I was finished with the MTWS events, which I had to do at the time. So that is going to be postponed right now, so I decided, why not get back to it with some that I could do right now, especially this one right now that is very, very short. So sorry for the long delay, and I'm happy to be back. So let's get into this one. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if? An NFL theory. In 1993, the NFC East was in an interesting position. The Cowboys were at the beginning of their 90s dynasty, and there was really no one that could challenge them in that conference. The Cardinals were, well, the Cardinals. The Eagles were having a mid-90s slump, and the Redskins were tanking hard after they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. But there was one team that could challenge them in 1993, the Giants. Just 3 years earlier, the Giants themselves won the Super Bowl. However, the next 2 years they struggled, and they fired their coach who replaced Bill Parcells after he retired, and they brought in Dan Reeves, who was the coach of the Broncos in the 80s. Immediately with bringing him in, the Giants instantly turned around. They were 11-4 with the final game of the season, having the playoffs already secured, but it was not done yet. There was still a whole bunch more they can clinch. And the final game of the season was them hosting the Cowboys, who were also 11-4. So it was set up here. Both teams were in the playoffs. Whoever won this game not only would win the NFC East, but they would have clinched home field advantages. The Lions and 49ers, the other division winners, were 10-5 and 9-6. So out of consideration. So how did the game go? Well, the Cowboys would end up winning it barely in overtime, 16-13, most in part thanks to their running back Emmitt Smith, who put up 168 rushing yards and got 61 receiving yards with a touchdown, despite having a pretty serious neck injury. He played through the injury, and he performed very clutch, and he was the big reason why that they won the game. So, of course, after losing to the Cowboys, the Giants finished 11-5, which was still good enough to get the 4th seed, which was a home game. They beat the Vikings before getting crushed by the 49ers. Meanwhile, the Cowboys with home field advantage went on to get their 2nd Super Bowl back-to-back. So now I always wondered, what if the Giants won it? I mean, the situation's set up possibly perfect for them to get it. And that's what this theory's about. So let's get into it. So for this theory, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to have Emmitt Smith play in this game. That injury he had was pretty significant. The fact that he still played and played good was quite an impressive display of endurance for him. So him not playing, it's just a pretty simple take out of that. So with him not in, the Giants hold on and win it. So of course in the update stands, the Cowboys and Giants just flip. The Giants, now at 12-4, clinch the number 1 seed, and the Cowboys, who are 11-4, fall all the way down to the 4th seed. Now, what would happen in the playoffs? Well, in the wild card round, the Cowboys now host the Vikings this time around. And of course, the Cowboys being the much better team, I think they would destroy the Vikings, which then sets up the divisional round where the Giants will host the Packers instead of the Cowboys doing the round. The Giants didn't play really good in the divisional round, but they were playing the 49ers, who were very, very good. The Packers were just beginning the Favre era pretty much. Although they went 9-7, beat the Lions, they still were not necessarily a good team either. Heck, Favre threw a whole bunch of interceptions that year. I think the Giants, even with their struggles, I think they can hold on just enough to get the W. And then, of course, the next divisional game would be the Cowboys now visiting the 49ers, the NFC Championship in the divisional round. And just like they did in real life, I think the Cowboys would beat them, especially since the 49ers just could not beat the Cowboys between 92 and 93. So the conference championship is now the Cowboys at Giants. How about that for a conference championship? That would be insane. And you know what? To make it even more interesting, let's say the Giants somehow do it again and beat the Cowboys. After all, they almost did. Remember, in the final week of the season, overtime. What's to say they can't do it again and this time win it? So I would pick the Giants to win it. So the Super Bowl would now be the Bills and Giants. So, who would win this one, you may be wondering? Well, let's see, comparing the stats. In the real-life Super Bowl, the Cowboys beat the Bills 30-13 after the Bills led 13-6, and that was mostly thanks to Emmitt Smith, who got the MVP of that game. Now, the Giants have a better defense than the Cowboys. They have the #1 defense in the league, so that's a plus for them. But unfortunately, their offense is worse than the Cowboys. And more importantly, their rushing offense wasn't as good. They don't have someone like Emmitt Smith on their team, and that is going to cost them. So I don't think the Giants are going to get the 2 rushing touchdowns like Emmitt Smith had in that game. So I think the game is going to be an absolute nail-biter. It probably will be around 13-13 like it was for the Bills almost at one point. And in this situation, I trust the Bills more, even though they kind of struggled in that game. So I actually would pick the Bills to get this in their rematch of 3 years later. So now this, of course, was a theory about one game in one season. But there is an interesting backstory and maybe some drama in the Cowboys that can go into 1994 that I'd be willing to talk about. So take a listen to this. Now, the Cowboys, of course, in real life finished 12-4 and they won the division, got home field advantage, and went into the Super Bowl. Now, remember, they at 2 points lost 2 straight games in the year. They started off 0-2, remember, in 1993. Now, why did they start off 0-2? Well, a big reason was Emmitt Smith held out those first 2 games for a better contract. And after they started off 0-2, the Cowboys completely folded and Emmitt Smith got what he wanted, and then they went 12-2 the rest of the way. So in this scenario, especially with his injury and the Cowboys missing out on getting the division, I wonder, what if the fans and the Cowboys consider maybe Emmitt Smith's perceived selfishness of the holding out costing them maybe another Super Bowl? Because their second loss in that 0-2 start was hosting the Bills in a close defensive struggle. If Emmitt Smith was in there, just like he did in the Super Bowl, maybe he could have put up enough to get the win, so that loss against the Giants would have been irrelevant. Because they can't really blame him for losing the Giants in the season finale because of the injury. This could maybe hurt the Cowboys in a way that maybe it hurt like the Seahawks after they lost to the Patriots in their Super Bowl in 2014. Could it put like a really bad stink on the team? Especially since, remember, Jimmy Johnson would be gone too. That would cause probably another bigger rift too. That would be maybe interesting to consider. But of course, I have no idea on how to work that into another theory, so I'm going to leave it off right here. But it's something to think about, maybe at least. But hey, it's just a theory. An NFL theory. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this very short theory, as I might have another one coming up sometime soon, as the Favre one is going to take quite a while to get fixed. Hell, that might not be till 2022 before it's done. So I hope you all enjoyed this very short theory. So see you guys next time with the Favre one, or maybe something else. And also, a very interesting one too after this if the Favre one doesn't come up. So see you guys then.